An adjectival phrase acts like an adjective. Adverbial phrases and clauses act like adverbs. Are the bolded words in each sentence an adjectival phrase, an adverbial phrase, or an adverbial clause? Are the bolded words a phrase or a clause? Do they describe a noun or a verb? This is the answer.
Phrases and independent clauses. What is the difference between a phrase and an independent clause? Here to show you are my amazing pets, Ginger and Watson. My cat Ginger has a very special talent. She answers every question with a complete sentence that can stand alone, an independent clause. My dog Watson is really talented too. He answers every question with a phrase. He doesn't like complete sentences. Ginger, would you like to play catch?
I prefer my bed.
Okay, no surprises here. Ginger answered with an independent clause. An independent clause has a subject and a predicate, just like a complete sentence. A subject is the noun or pronoun that's being talked about. In this case, the subject is I. A predicate contains a verb that tells about the subject. Prefer my bed is a predicate. Watson, would you like to play catch?
Best day of my life.
Watson answered with a phrase. A phrase is missing either a subject or a predicate or both. Best day of my life.
A clause has a subject and a predicate. A phrase is missing a subject, predicate, or both. Is this a clause or a phrase? There is no capitalization or punctuation on purpose. Rats scurry. Needs a ride. Computers crash. She sees him. A clause will have a subject and a predicate. With a hard drive. A clause will have a subject and a predicate. And sang a song. A clause will have a subject and a predicate. She sees him. With a hard drive. And sang a song. All right. Are the bolded words a phrase or a clause? Do they describe a noun or a verb? This is the answer. A clause has a subject and a predicate. A phrase is missing a subject, predicate, or both. Is this a clause or a phrase? There is no capitalization or punctuation on purpose. With a hard drive. And sang a song. Needs a ride. A clause will have a subject and a predicate. Computers crash. She sees him. Rats scurry. Needs a ride. You've got it. Are the bolded words a phrase or a clause? Do they describe a noun or a verb? This is the answer. This is the answer. Prepositional phrases can act like adjectives and answer which one. They can also act like adverbs and answer when or where. Do the bold phrases answer which one, when, or where? Well done. Are the bolded words a phrase or a clause? Do they describe a noun or a verb? This is the answer. A clause has a subject and a predicate. A phrase is missing a subject, predicate, or both. Is this a clause or a phrase? There is no capitalization or punctuation on purpose. And sang a song. Needs a ride. A clause will have a subject and a predicate. With a hard drive. A clause will have a subject and a predicate. She sees him. A clause will have a subject and a predicate. Computers crash. Rats scurry. Needs a ride. With a hard drive. She sees him. You rock! Good work. There are different kinds of sentences: declarative, interrogative, and imperative. Declarative sentences give information. Interrogative sentences ask questions. And imperatives are like a command. Select the type of sentence. The sentence is a command. The sentence is asking a question. Fantastic! Watch the video to learn more about restrictive and non-restrictive clauses.
Restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. A restrictive clause is essential or really important to the meaning of a sentence. It does not need commas. For example, the bus that carries the visiting team pulled up to the school at 3 p.m. That carries the visiting team is a restrictive clause. It has essential, must-have information, and there are no commas. Without these words, it could be any bus. There's also a hint that it is a restrictive clause. The word "that" is used only in restrictive clauses. A non-restrictive clause is not essential to the meaning of the sentence. It needs commas. For example, the bus that carries the visiting team, who are called the North Side Sluggers, pulled up to the school at 3 p.m. Who are called the North Side Sluggers is a non-restrictive clause. It does tell the name of the team, but that information is not essential to the meaning of the sentence. It can be left out. This clause needs commas. Remember, a restrictive clause is essential to the meaning of a sentence. It does not need commas. A non-restrictive clause is not essential to the meaning of the sentence. It needs commas. Restrictive and non-restrictive clauses.
A restrictive clause is important to the meaning of a sentence. There are no commas around a restrictive clause. A non-restrictive clause is additional information that is not needed. There are commas around a non-restrictive clause. Read each sentence. Is there a restrictive or non-restrictive clause? Or is there no added clause? Look for commas. They show that the clause is non-restrictive. The clause, "who has the red vest on," is a restrictive clause. The clause tells exactly which man saved the cat. A restrictive clause is necessary to the meaning of the sentence. There are no commas around a restrictive clause. Is the bold clause a restrictive clause? Yes or no? Great work! Look for commas. They show that the clause is non-restrictive. Other than the main sentence, there is no other clause. A restrictive clause is necessary to the meaning of the sentence. There are no commas around a restrictive clause. Is the bold clause a restrictive clause? Yes or no? Fantastic! Look for commas. They show that the clause is non-restrictive. You rock! An independent clause names the subject of the sentence and tells what the subject does or is. A restrictive clause is necessary to the meaning of the independent clause. A non-restrictive clause is not necessary and is set off by commas. Is the bold clause the independent clause? Is it a restrictive clause? Or is it a non-restrictive clause? An independent clause tells who or what the sentence is about. If commas are setting off the clause, it is not necessary to the meaning of the independent clause. The clause, "that you love," is restrictive because it tells exactly which candy. A restrictive clause is necessary to the meaning of the sentence. There are no commas around a restrictive clause. Is the bold clause a restrictive clause? Yes or no? Yep, nice. An independent clause tells who or what the sentence is about. If commas are setting off the clause, it is not necessary to the meaning of the independent clause. The clause, "unless you want to bring it," is non-restrictive because there is a comma and it is not necessary information. Nicely done! Watch the video for a review of the colon.
Ugh, it's my mom. I know what she's gonna say. Listen, Timmy. The colon has 3 uses. List, emphasize, and connect. That's list, emphasize, and connect. Hey, Mom.
Listen, Timmy. We need several items. Apples, milk, and butter. Make sure you get them all.
I take my pen and make 2 little dots. Add 2 spaces like 2 little hops. When I see a colon, I start to stop. It tops a list of things I like a lot.
I only like one kind of apple. Fuji apples.
I see what you did there. That's wise. You use the colon to emphasize a word or phrase so we can realize the kind of apple that you truly prize.
I really like Fuji apples. They are the best apples.
Oh, mommy, now we're really rolling. You just dropped the third use of the colon. You connected two independent clauses. The second clause explain what the first clause is. Oh, my, now we're really rolling. We know the three uses of the colon. Oh, my, now we're really rolling. We know the three uses of the colon.
A colon is used to list, emphasize, or connect. Order these groups of words into a sentence with a colon. There is at least one infinitive in each sentence. This is the answer. This is the answer. A colon is used to begin a list, to emphasize an idea, or to connect two complete sentences. Is a colon needed? Yes or no? Great! This is the answer. A colon is used to list, emphasize, or connect. Great job! Clauses serve different functions in sentences. Choose the word that makes the clause tell when. Choose the word that makes the clause tell what happened. Look for the word that makes the clause tell what happened. Choose the word that makes the clause show condition. Choose the word that makes the clause tell what happened. Choose the word that makes the clause tell where. Choose the word that makes the clause tell what happened. Choose the word that makes the clause tell what happens. Choose the word that makes the clause tell the condition. Choose the word that makes the clause show condition. Choose the word that makes the clause tell when. Choose the word that makes the clause show cause. The word because makes the clause show the cause.
Let's go camping with subordinating conjunctions.
A subordinating conjunction joins two clauses together. A clause has a subject and a predicate. Thumbs up if the bold word is part of a clause. Thumbs down if the word is not. Under the starry sky.
Introduce and are
Unless, once, and since.
Now that the students finished the exams. Since we returned from vacation. At the break of day. Unless the principal gives permission. While they were working. Sweet. Choose the word that makes the clause show sequence. Choose the word that makes the clause tell what happened. Look for the word that makes the clause tell what happened. The word so makes the clause tell what happened. Choose the word that makes the clause show cause. Choose the word that makes the clause tell what happened. All right. Look at the sentence and highlight the part of speech.
And verbs that show were. There are verbs of being: is, am, was, were. Go behind.
A verb shows action or state of being. This is the answer. This is the answer. A common noun names a person, place, or thing. A proper noun names a specific person, place, or thing. A proper noun always begins with a capital letter. Are these proper nouns? Thumbs up if they are. Thumbs down if they are not. Ralph, Juan, Sean. Nile, Amazon, Thames. Parents, students, teachers. Jacket, boots, mittens. Asia, Australia, Africa. London, Paris, New York. Good going.
N to the O to the U. Noun names a person, that's not all. A noun can name a place.
This is the answer. Pronoun takes the place of a noun.
Relative clause.
Who, whom, whoever.
Carnival. At the. Let's test them out.
This is the answer.
All about
The words that, which, who, whose, and whom are relative pronouns. Are all the words in this group relative pronouns? Yes or no? We, who, whom. Which, that, whose. That, who, she. That, which, who. They, that, who. Whose, who, whom. Nicely done.
Or the loves him. This cat loves direct object pronouns. Carlos is a prep. Let's go. Sense.
I remember.
Coordinating.
I remember so.
Let's go camping with subordinating conjunctions.
Join two related clauses. I remember so.
An article signals that a noun is coming. The articles are a, the, and an.
And the. Article of nouns, Doc. Get away from them. It's these tiny words. Talk. And the.
Your dream.
This is the answer. A preposition begins a phrase that answers when or where. Is the bold word a preposition? Thumbs up if it is. Thumbs down if it is not. The runners run over the hill. The fork fell under the table. They study before school. We eat in the kitchen. The kitten is behind the sofa. The students cheer at the game. All right. This is the answer. The words that, which, who, whose, and whom are relative pronouns. Are all the words in this group relative pronouns? Yes or no? Which, that, whose. That, which, who. The relative pronouns are that, which, who, whom, and whose. Whose, who, whom. That, who, she. They, that, who. We, who, whom. The relative pronouns are that, which, who, whom, and whose. That, which, who. We, who, whom. Good job. You rock. Excellent progress. This task is timed. Select correct if the punctuation is correct. Select incorrect if the punctuation is incorrect. Now try to beat your time and still get them correct. You improved your speed and accuracy. Read Read each sentence. Is the punctuation correct or incorrect? Punctuation will include commas and colons. Now this sentence is correct. This sentence is okay. This sentence is okay. This sentence is okay. Now this sentence is correct. This sentence is okay. This sentence is okay. Now this sentence is correct. This sentence is okay. Now this sentence is correct. This sentence is okay. Now this sentence is correct. Now this sentence is correct. Yep, nice. All sentences have punctuation errors. Do the sentences need commas, a colon, or an exclamation point? Yep, nice. Build new sentences by adding and replacing words to sentences. Listen to the prompts and make new sentences. The plane takes off. Add a participle that describes the subject. Add an adverb to the beginning of the sentence that tells when. Add an independent clause after the predicate. A compound predicate has the conjunction and. Add a participle that describes the passengers. Add an adverb at the end of the sentence that describes how the passengers cheer. Replace the first adverb with an interjection. The puppies are active. Replace the predicate adjective with another predicate adjective. Add a participle that tells what kind of puppies. Add a dependent clause to the end of the sentence that tells when. This is the answer. The growing puppies are clumsy as they run.
Dependent clause.
What did you do last weekend?
Since I don't have any money.
Yes? Go on. You just said a dependent clause, which can't stand.
An independent clause has a subject and predicate. A dependent clause has a subject, a predicate, and a subordinating conjunction. Is the clause independent or dependent? If I lose the phone number. Even though he is fast. Because the baby cries. A dependent clause will have a subordinating conjunction. You write the letter. We are going soon. Until the rain stops. Because the baby cries. A dependent clause will have a subordinating conjunction. Because the baby cries. Way to go! Replace the participle with another participle that will act as an adjective. Add an adverb that describes the degree to which the puppies are clumsy. Listen to the add an adverb that describes the degree to which the puppies are clumsy. Add an adverb that describes the degree to which the puppies are clumsy. Replace the complete predicate with another predicate. Add an independent clause after the predicate. Add a dependent clause to the end of the sentence that tells when. Fantastic! Build new sentences by adding and replacing words to sentences. Listen to the prompts and make new sentences. Helmet is a wonder dog. Add a relative clause to the end of the sentence. Add a prepositional phrase to the end of the sentence. Add a prepositional phrase to the end of the sentence. Add a prepositional phrase to the end of the sentence. Replace the complete predicate with another predicate. Add a participle that describes the family. Add a gerund to make a compound subject.
Gerunds.
This is the answer. Helmet and his barking rescued his sleeping family. Replace the complete predicate with a predicate that has an infinitive. His dream seems grand. Replace the predicate with a predicate that has an infinitive. Add an adverb after the infinitive that tells to what degree. Add an adverb after the infinitive that tells to what degree. This is the answer. His dream is to see all the world. Adverbs describe the verb and answer how, when, or where. Adverbs can also answer to what degree, like very, really, or greatly. Do these adverbs answer how, when, where, or to what degree? Early, later, soon. Here, there, somewhere. Quickly, happily, carefully. Really, very, greatly. Everywhere, anywhere, nowhere. Now, tomorrow, yesterday. Good job. Replace the infinitive with a gerund. Replace the complete predicate with another complete predicate. Add a relative clause to the end of the sentence. Add a relative clause to the end of the sentence. Add a relative clause to the end of the sentence. Add a relative clause to the end of the sentence. This is the answer. His dream takes time and money that he doesn't have. A relative clause begins with a relative pronoun and describes a noun. A relative clause answers the question, which one? Do the bold words begin with a relative pronoun and answer the question, which one? Thumbs up or thumbs down. An apple has stems and seeds.
All about.
Okay, you go first.
A baby who smiles is happy. The boy who has the red hat is my brother. A person whom you know is coming. The teacher wrote on the board. The dog that was lost is our dog. Well done. Replace the sentence with an interjection. Replace the sentence with an interjection. This is the answer. Oh well. Add a gerund to make a compound subject. Add an adverb after the infinitive that tells to what degree. Replace the infinitive with a gerund. This is the answer. His dream is seeing all the world.
Gerunds.
A gerund is made up of a verb plus ing. A gerund is like a noun. Is the bold gerund acting as a subject, predicate nominative, direct object, or object of a preposition? Right on. Add a relative clause to the end of the sentence. Replace the sentence with an interjection. Replace the infinitive with a gerund. Sweet. Words are categorized as parts of speech according to their function in a sentence. In each sentence, there is a word that appears twice. Select the two functions of the word in the order that the words appear in the sentence. This is the answer.
Adjectives.
An adjective describes a noun. Select thumbs up if the underlined word in the phrase is an adjective that describes a noun. The bumpy road. Drives the car. The shiny ring. Jumps a fence. A peaceful song. A chilly night. Nicely done. This is the answer. An adjective describes a noun. Select thumbs up if the underlined word in the phrase is an adjective that describes a noun. Drives the car. A peaceful song. A chilly night. The bumpy road. The shiny ring. Jumps a fence. Super. Great. Look at the sentence and highlight the part of speech. A verb shows action or state of being.
Was, were.
from the root and those.
This is the answer.
Around the world with subject pronouns. Did you know that
The subject noun tells who or what a sentence is about. A subject pronoun takes the place of the subject noun. Could these words be subject pronouns? Thumbs up if they can. Thumbs down if they cannot. Sit, eat, swim.
let me show you what he and it.
He, she, it. Jump, run, play. They, we, he. She, I, you. It, you, they. Nice.
Some we bought an ending. It is on sale. Shopping. And definite pronouns are a little bit like
If there's one that if I were I wouldn't pat myself on the back just
Article.
These words.
This is the answer. Good going. Excellent work. The author of this text has used imagination to write a fiction story. As you read, think about how the author helps readers identify the setting, understand the characters, and follow the events. The message in a bottle. Did you hear about that guy in Mid-Bay who found a message in a bottle? Bo asked Seth. The brothers were walking along the ocean bay near their home. Mid-Bay was their neighboring town. Bo explained that a man found a glass bottle on the beach. Inside was a folded paper. 10 years earlier, a sailor had written his name, address, and a few words on the paper and tossed the bottle overboard. Bo said, "The guy who found the bottle got in touch with the sailor, and the story was in the news." "Awesome," Seth said, scanning the beach as he added, "Finding a message in a bottle would be so fantastic." The story stayed in Seth's mind. What a thrill it would be to find a bottle that had been floating for years, carrying a message from stranger to stranger. Seth couldn't stop thinking and talking about it. Finding a message sounded so mysterious and wonderful. Seth took daily walks along the shore, but instead of looking out at the water, his eyes looked down. He was on the hunt for half-buried bottles, but he never found one that wasn't broken. Finding messages in bottles almost never happens, Bo told Seth on one of their walks. That's why it makes the news. But Seth insisted that bobbing bottles were on their way to shore and he would find one someday. One morning, Seth awoke feeling lucky. It was a special day, his birthday, and he had a feeling that a surprise was coming his way. He ran down to the beach for his morning stroll. He hadn't walked far when he saw something sparkling in the wet sand. It was a glass bottle with a screw-top lid. Folded paper was inside. Seth raced back to his house. "Look what I found!" he shouted as he waved the bottle over his head. "What's the message?" asked Bo. Seth was too excited to notice that Bo was winking. Seth unscrewed the top, shook out the paper, and carefully unfolded it. He read the message aloud. "May you always find whatever you are looking for. Happy birthday." Look back at the text again to answer these questions. What is the author's purpose in the first paragraph of the story? Why is the setting important in this story? Why does the author use the words mysterious and wonderful in the highlighted sentence? Which sentence does the author write to help readers understand why Seth found the bottle? Read the text again to find the answer. This is the answer. The sentence the author writes to help readers understand why Seth found the bottle is, Seth was too excited to notice that Bo was winking. Which sentence does the author write to help readers understand why Seth found the bottle? Good work. This graphic organizer is for narrative text. As you answer questions about the text, the organizer will be filled in for you. Think about the notes at the top. Choose the answer that tells where the notes belong in the graphic organizer. Look over the text again. Nice work. Read the text to learn about a topic. Think about how the author explains terms and helps readers understand similarities and differences. Governing ourselves. Raise your hand if you want an outdoor study hall today, the teacher says to the class. After counting the raised hands, the teacher says, we have 12 votes for a study hall inside and 14 for an outdoor study hall. Get your coats, we're all going outside. By voting for what they want to do, these students have taken part in their own government. That is just what the citizens of a democracy do. A democracy is a form of government in which citizens rule themselves. The two main kinds are direct democracy and indirect democracy. In a direct democracy, citizens vote for their own laws. The word democracy comes from ancient Greek and means rule by the people. In some city-states in ancient Greece, male citizens met to vote on actions their whole community would take. These city-states practiced direct democracy. Direct democracy is still practiced in some towns in the United States. Citizens come together once a year in a town meeting and vote on issues affecting their local community, such as how to spend money collected through taxes. Direct democracy may work for fairly small communities, but it would not be practical for big cities or nations. Imagine tens of thousands or even millions of citizens gathering to debate laws and vote. What a scene of confusion! In contrast to voting for laws themselves, the citizens of an indirect democracy vote for their lawmakers. An indirect democracy is also called a representative democracy because voters choose the people who will represent them in government. Most modern democratic nations are indirect democracies. What do students voting about recess, citizens voting for their own laws, and citizens voting for their lawmakers all have in common? They all agree to majority rule. At least more than half, a majority, of voters must be in favor of an action in order for it to take effect. What about those students who voted for indoor recess? They must go along with the majority and have outdoor recess. In a democracy, citizens or lawmakers who hold opposing views must accept the majority's decision. That is a basic principle of democracy. It allows community members to stay together and work as one. Look back at the text to answer these questions. Why does the author begin paragraph 1 with a scene from a classroom? Read the text again to find the answer. Why has the author shown bold-faced words? In paragraph 3, what words does the author use to point out a difference? How has the author organized information in paragraphs 2 and 3? Why does the author begin paragraph 1 with a scene from a classroom? Terrific! This graphic organizer is for informational text. As you answer questions about the text, the organizer will be filled in for you. Choose the answer that tells where the notes belong in the graphic organizer. Look over the text again. Well done. Perseverance is staying power when you're faced with a difficult situation, whether big or small. When you're disappointed or discouraged and want to give up, you keep on going. Through persistence, you can achieve success.
Infer. To make an educated guess based on text evidence and what. Defer. Defer means to surrender in the face of an overwhelming force. When you make an inference, you are not only using what the text says, but also what you know about the topic. Fester. Fester means to become infected or rotten. Watch this video and think about how authors can use tone and mood. Tone and mood.
Is there a difference between tone and mood?
There sure is. The author's words can give you clues about tone and mood. Tone is an author's attitude toward the subject.
What do you mean?
Let's say an author writes, "This place is cold and unforgiving in the winter, but I hold it near and dear to my heart because I grew up here." Although the author doesn't like that the place is cold and unforgiving, his tone is sentimental because he has good memories of growing up there.
It seems as if you sometimes have to read between the lines to figure out the writer's attitude.
That's right. The tone may be peaceful, enthusiastic, amused, affectionate, proud, or excited.
Cool. Tone makes sense to me now. But how is tone different from mood?
Mood is the emotional atmosphere created by the author's words and how the reader feels about the subject.
What's an example of mood?
It was a dark and stormy night. The house on the corner, run down and condemned by the city, seemed especially creepy. The mood is mysterious or frightening. Mood is the reader's feeling about the subject or the emotional atmosphere or the overall feeling the author has created, such as surprised, terrifying, joyous, anxious, and hopeful.
So let me get tone and mood straight. Tone is the author's attitude toward the subject. Mood is the feeling created in the reader by the text.
That's right. I can't wait to figure out the tone and mood in the next book I read. Tone shows the author's attitude toward the subject. Mood refers to the reader's feelings created by the text. The tone and mood of a poem can often be classified as positive or negative. You identified words that could be used to describe the tone or mood as positive or negative. A rhetorical question is asked not to get an answer, but instead to emphasize a point or encourage the reader to carefully think about something. Consider how the author's use of questions sets the tone of this poem. Similes. Fester. Langston Hughes uses a tone that is both reflective and deeply frustrated toward a dream deferred. Langston Hughes creates a mood in the reader that is contemplative but filled with discontent. Think about the deeper meaning of the text. You've powered up. You get to skip ahead to the next section. Now apply what you've learned to text 2. Preview the text by selecting the bold blue words to hear their definitions. Barren. Barren means unable to produce or support new growth. Read the poem and think about what the author is saying about dreams.
Well, it looks like it's time for me to read, so Dreams by Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field, frozen with snow. That was good.
Check your understanding of the key ideas and details. Reread the poem and think about what the poet means by the word dreams. Often, fast means quickly, but here it means tightly. Think about a poet's use of tone and mood. You identified words that could be used to describe the tone or mood as positive or negative. Metaphor. Think about the deeper meaning of the two Langston Hughes poems, Harlem and Dreams. Sort the phrases that show how these two poems are similar and different. Look for evidence in the poems that show how they are alike and different. Nice work. Fully completed this lesson. Genius! In this lesson, you'll read an informational text called Civic Responsibility about life in the United States during World War II. Prepare to read by starting with vocabulary. Preview the instructional terms for this lesson. Select the definition that goes with the picture on the card. Text features are elements in informational text such as headings and captions. Headings are words at the top of the text that give the subject or topic. Subheadings are words that label shorter parts of the text. Captions are words about a picture. Italics are letters in slanted type. A feature box is related information that is separate from the main text. All set! This vocabulary will help you move through the lesson. Now that you have reviewed the vocabulary, watch the video and prepare to read Text 1.
Civic responsibility. The year was 1940. The countries of Germany, Italy, and Japan united in an aggressive attempt to spread their beliefs around the world. This horrific conflict would be known as World War II. As the enemy powers increased in aggression, their armies expanded across Europe and into other corners of the world. On December 7, 1941, the Empire of Japan bombed the United States naval base at Pearl Harbor in the Hawaiian Islands. As a result, the United States entered the war and 16 million American men and women joined the fight. Those that remained behind were enlisted in a different but equally important struggle as citizen soldiers on the home front. The American government spread the message of civic responsibility with a simple but incredibly powerful tool. Impossible to miss, always in plain view, the brightly colored printed poster helped fan American patriotism, creativity, and determination. Civic responsibility.
Thinking about what life was like in the United States during World War II can help you identify the key ideas and details in this article. If you had to make changes during a war, what would be hardest? Preview the text by selecting the bold blue words to hear their definitions. Civic. Civic means relating to citizens. Campaign. A campaign is an organized effort to reach a goal. Arsenal. An arsenal is a place where weapons are made or stored. Allies. An ally is a person or group that supports another. Consumers. A consumer is a person who buys something. Advocated. Advocate means to publicly support. Hearing the definitions of these words can help you understand the text. Read the text and look for text features such as headings and subheadings.
Civic responsibility. Before you read, during World War II, the citizens of the United States and the United Kingdom were part of the home front. Home front was the term used to describe the activities of civilians that supported the war effort. Citizens, young and old, were asked to raise money, recycle, and do without new clothes and other luxuries. Many citizens found themselves doing new jobs. Women in both countries were trained to work in factories in record numbers. Colorful posters reminded the home front in both the United States and the United Kingdom of their critical role in the war effort. The home front boosted the morale of citizens and soldiers alike and had a significant impact on the outcome of the war. Nothing in America went unchanged by World War II. More than 16 million men and women, more than 1/10 of the population, served in the armed forces. More than 400,000 never returned. Those who remained at home found themselves taking on the responsibilities of citizen soldiers at every turn of their daily lives. Decisions that were once only personal, what to buy, what to eat, how to spend free time, now had global consequences. To explain these civic responsibilities and to encourage a voluntary spirit, the U.S. government launched the biggest advertising and public relations campaign in history. Posters were an important part of the campaign to get the messages out. Factories across America increased production to make military weapons and equipment. By the end of the war, the U.S. was making half of the entire world's manufactured goods. In December of 1940, 1 year before Pearl Harbor, President Roosevelt called on the country to become the arsenal of democracy. That year, Nazi Germany had overrun Denmark, Norway, Holland, Belgium, and France. Only Britain stood in the way of Nazi control of the Atlantic. The United States would soon unleash its productive might to send weapons, raw materials, and food to Britain and other allies. Most young men entered the military. At the same time, millions of women entered the workforce. Many women filled roles that had never before been open to them. Ford Motor Company, for instance, lifted a ban on hiring women for any position other than secretarial. At one point, women made up nearly half of the workforce at a Ford bomber plant in Michigan. American factories were building thousands of ships, tanks, airplanes, and guns. War posters sent a message that every bit of effort contributed to winning the war. These posters also claimed that every sick day, every extra minute on a break, and every broken tool helped the enemy. Posters covered factory walls as a reminder that the workplace, too, was a battlefield. The growth in production pushed the United States out of the Great Depression and into a thriving economy. But the government still needed a way to pay for the cost of another war. The government savings bond program became a popular effort to raise money to support overseas troops. Savings bonds are certificates sold by the government to citizens with a promise to pay back the purchase price plus interest after a certain time period. During the war, these savings bonds were called defense bonds or war bonds. The government used the money from the sales of bonds to pay for the war. Americans were encouraged to own a share in America. If a sense of duty was the selling point of the bonds, the campaign was helped along by an American sense of flash and fun. Hollywood celebrities appeared at Stars Over America bond rallies across the country. Lana Turner alone raised $5.25 million by offering kisses to bond buyers. In 1944, bond purchases served as admission for a circus-like three-way baseball game at the Polo Grounds in New York, in which the Brooklyn Dodgers defeated both the Yankees and the Giants. The event raised $56.5 million. By the end of the war, more than 85 million Americans, out of a population of 139 million, owned bonds. Millions had participated in drives run by groups such as scout troops, men's lodges, women's clubs, and union locals to sell bonds. It's been estimated that the federal government spent $340 billion on the war, and that's in 1940s dollars. Nearly half of that came from bond sales. During World War II, factories and farms in the United States focused their efforts on supplying the military. That meant there were far fewer goods for American consumers. Government posters reminded citizens of the reasons for the shortages. Americans were asked to practice conservation. To conserve means to prevent waste or loss, and that's exactly what people did. Government posters also recommended saving food and reusing consumer products. Children and adults alike were told to avoid waste by cleaning their plates. Americans also began saving bacon grease because the recycled fat could be used to make ammunition and medicine. In addition, aluminum can drives and the Save Your Scrap campaign collected products to be recycled into ammunition. Some posters advocated growing fruit and vegetables in a home or community victory garden. At one point during the war, victory gardens were responsible for almost 1/3 of the vegetables produced by the United States. Even Eleanor Roosevelt pitched in by planting a victory garden on the White House lawn. Fashion trends were also shaped by wartime shortages. Materials typically used to make clothing were taken for military use. Long evening gowns went out of style because materials needed to be conserved for the war effort. Shirt cuffs, pleats, vests, and wide padded shoulders also became unfashionable. To the alarm of many older Americans, a new trend took off: two-piece women's swimsuits. During World War II, the importance of civic responsibility was stressed on every occasion. This idea, in one way or another, was found on nearly every poster. The defense of freedom depends on individual responsibility, freely chosen.
Check your understanding of the key ideas and details. Select the bold blue word heading to hear its definition. Heading: words at the top of the text that give the subject or topic. The heading is civic responsibility. To understand the main idea in a text, you need to first find the subject. The subject is often identified in the heading. Subject: what the text is. To understand key details, you may need to figure out new vocabulary. You can often use other words in a sentence to find the meaning of a word. Understanding the meaning of the word drives is important because it emphasizes one way that American citizens work together to support the war effort. Watch this video and think about how text features can help you identify the most important information.
Informational text features.
Ready to work on our informational text report?
I'm ready. The subject of our report is the weather.
First, let's take a look at our checklist of text features that we want to include in our report.
Okay, we've got heading, subheading, bold or italics, feature box, bulleted list, images, and captions.
Great! First, we need a catchy heading and some subheadings. They should help readers identify what the text is mostly about and how it's organized.
How about weird, wacky, and wild weather?
Great! And for subheadings, we can use hail, tornadoes, hurricanes.
Check.
Did we use bold font for all the key vocabulary words? Bolded or italicized words let readers know what the important terms are, like in this example. Pellets of frozen rain are called hail.
Check.
Did you include a feature box to give some fun facts or more interesting information?
Yep, here it is. Did you know? Swirling whirlwinds over shallow water can turn into a waterspout, sucking up fish, eels, and even frogs. Then these creatures will rain down on you.
Cool! Make sure you put a colorful border around the box so readers notice it.
Check. Bulleted lists make it easier and faster to find information.
That's right. Tornado facts. A tornado is often called a twister. There are an average of 1,200 tornadoes in the U.S. every year. The area from western Texas to North Dakota is called Tornado Alley.
Check.
I made sure we included a photograph and a caption to help you understand the photograph. Hurricanes usually form in tropical areas of the world.
Check.
All these text features help you understand how an author organizes information.
And that will help you better understand and remember what you read.
Informational text features.
Here's the takeaway. These text features can help you identify the most important ideas of a text. There can be more than one level of subheadings. This article has Level 1 and Level 2 subheadings in addition to the main heading. In this overview, Level 1 subheadings are highlighted in yellow and Level 2 subheadings are in green. This shows how the text is organized. Take another look at the Level 1 subheading highlighted in yellow. Use these subheadings to identify supporting ideas. Reread the paragraphs below the Level 2 subheadings highlighted in green. Select the answer that best summarizes the information. The statement that reflects the supporting ideas found in the Level 2 subheadings is, citizens bought war bonds that even movie stars helped to sell. The important supporting ideas that you identified for Level 2 subheadings are graphic organizer. This can serve as a summary for the article. Use text features to identify important ideas and details in the text. Words in italics are a type of text feature. The words in italics in this paragraph emphasize the idea that there would be a dramatic shift in how Americans participated in the war. Captions are another text feature that can help you focus on important information. Locate the photograph of a ration card. The caption explains how it was used. Text features used in this article. Use the subject and the supporting ideas to find the main idea. The main idea has been added to the graphic organizer. Now you can find key details that tell you about the supporting ideas. Sort these details from the article into categories. This graphic organizer can serve as an outline to help you remember the information in the text. Look back through the posters and images used in the article.
Let's take a closer look at the structure of informational text. Informational text informs. It tells you facts about a subject. The elements of informational text are subject, main idea, supporting ideas, and details. Informational text Informational text
Perseverance is
Informational text. What does informational text do? Now, take a closer look at the first element of an informational text, subject. The subject is what the text is mostly about. Find the subject, read the title, and look for repeats. They can give you clues about the subject. The subject is usually a word or two. The second element of informational text is main idea. The main idea is the point the author is making about the subject. It is usually stated as a sentence near the beginning of a text. Recall that the subject is usually a word or two, and the main idea is usually a sentence. Match each word or group of words to the element of informational text. Notice that a subject is usually a word or two. A main idea is usually stated as a sentence. Which three things are true about the main idea? The next element is supporting ideas. Supporting ideas are facts or reasons that explain the main idea. There's usually more than one supporting idea in a passage. Supporting ideas. What's the purpose of having supporting ideas? Supporting ideas are facts or reasons that explain the main idea. The last element of informational text is details. Details are pieces of information that describe the supporting ideas. Details are pieces of information that What is the purpose of having details? You've just reviewed the elements of informational text. Now, follow along and think about the subject, main idea, supporting ideas, and details of Fruits Rock.
Fruits rock. Fruits are amazing in many ways. Fruits are healthful. They have vitamins. They reduce the risk of disease. Fruits are plentiful. There are between 1,000 and 2,000 different kinds. They make up a large part of farming production. Fruits are not just for eating. Some fruits can be used as natural dyes. Bayberries can be used to make candles.
How many times is the word fruits highlighted? The subject is what the text is mostly about. The title and repeating words help you find the subject. The subject is... The main idea is the point the author is making about the subject. The main idea of this text is... The main idea is usually near the beginning of the text. It is not always in the first sentence. Now you know the subject is fruits, and the main idea is fruits are amazing in many ways. The supporting ideas explain the main idea. They show how fruits are amazing. Which three answers are supporting ideas in Fruits Rock? The text has details that give more information about supporting ideas. Match the details from to each supporting idea. Remember, an text is made up of the subject, main idea, supporting ideas, and details. Now, while you're learning about seahorses, think about the elements of informational text.
Whoa, hold your seahorses. They have a tail and a head that looks somewhat like a horse. They live in the sea. So, seahorse is not a totally unexpected name for this unique fish that is found in seas around the world. Seahorses are bony fish that do not have scales like other fish. Their bodies are covered with a thin skin. The skin covers rings of bony plates. Seahorses swim upright, like they are standing and swimming at the same time. However, this unusual swimming position means they are not fast swimmers. The seahorse has a prehensile tail. Prehensile means able to grasp. A seahorse can use its tail to grasp and hold onto a piece of seaweed to stay in one place. This is how it hides from enemies.
Before you answer this question, read the title and look for repeating words in the text. The subject is... The subject of this text is seahorses. All the other elements in this informational text will tell you more about seahorses. The main idea is seahorses... The main idea is usually near the beginning of the text. It is not always in the first sentence. Seahorses are unique fish that are found around the world. Notice the main idea is stated as a sentence. Everything after the main idea explains and describes why seahorses are unique. Unique means something that is not like anything else. Which three supporting ideas describe the seahorse's uniqueness? Supporting ideas explain the main idea. Look back at the highlighted text to find three ideas that explain why seahorses are unique. Here are the supporting ideas. The supporting ideas explain the main idea. Details are the last element. They will give more description. Which three details describe the seahorse's skin? These details give you a better picture of the seahorse's skin. The three details about the seahorse's skin are it has no scales, is thin, and covers rings of bony plates. Which three details describe the seahorse's swimming position? Here are the three details about the seahorse's swimming position. It is unusual, upright, and not fast. Which two details describe the seahorse's tail? The two details about the seahorse's prehensile tail are it can grasp and helps it hide from enemies. Each supporting idea needs details that describe it. Identifying the elements makes it easy to write a summary. Here is the summary of the seahorse's text you just read. Summary. Whoa, hold your seahorses. Seahorses are unique fish that are found around the world. Their skin, swimming position, and tail are different from other fish. Seahorses don't have scales. They have a thin skin that covers bony rings. They swim upright and not horizontally like other fish. They are not fast. Seahorses also have a prehensile tail. They can use it to grasp a piece of seaweed and to hide from their enemies. Look closely at the summary. Highlight the word that repeats 3 times and helps you find the subject in the text. Highlight the sentence that is the main idea. Often the main idea is the first sentence or near the beginning of a text. Highlight the sentence with the supporting ideas. Highlight the sentence with a detail that describes seahorses. The important elements of informational text are subject, main idea, supporting ideas, and details. With details, you have a clear understanding of the supporting ideas. The supporting ideas explain the main idea, and the main idea is what the text is mostly about. And, speaking of information, can you believe a seahorse is a fish? Now you know. The seahorse has a prehensile tail that it uses to grasp and hold on to seaweed and other plants. And, did you know? An adult seahorse eats 30 to 50 times a day, and a baby seahorse eats 3,000 pieces of food a day.
Now apply what you've learned to text 2. Preview the text by selecting the bold blue words to hear their definitions. Mummified. Mummify means to preserve a body by wrapping it in cloth. Quarries. A quarry is a place where stone is cut or blasted from the ground. Calligraphy. Calligraphy is fancy handwriting. Replica. A replica is a copy or a model. Heritage. A heritage is something that is passed down through the ages. Read the text and consider how the text features help you organize the information in the article.
Marvels of construction. Throughout the world, certain human-made structures inspire awe. Unique towers, walls, and buildings are instantly recognizable as national symbols. 2 of the world's most amazing constructions are the Great Pyramid of Egypt and the Taj Mahal of India. Both were built as tombs. 3 huge, well-preserved pyramids stand on the Giza Plateau, near Cairo, Egypt. The Great Pyramid is the largest. Its size, along with its unusual rooms and passageways, make it especially fascinating. The Great Pyramid was completed around 2540 BCE in preparation for the funeral rituals for King Khufu, the ruler who ordered its construction. The afterlife was central to ancient Egyptian culture. Khufu wanted to ensure that he would have everything he needed for his life after death. That included his body, which was mummified. It also included the clothing, furniture, and magnificent treasures possessed by a ruler like himself. And all of those things would need to be safely protected, forever, inside a monumental construction bigger and better than any made before. Unfortunately, tomb robbers discovered Khufu and his treasures and stole them. The rooms of the Great Pyramid have since remained empty. The walls of the Great Pyramid were made of limestone blocks. Granite was used in interior rooms. Workers cut the stone in quarries and dragged the blocks to the construction site. White limestone casing covered the sides of the pyramid. Few of the casing stones are left, but when the Great Pyramid was built, it gleamed like a giant white jewel. Facts and figures. Original height of the Great Pyramid, 481 feet. Area of base, approximately 13 acres. Average weight of stone blocks, 2.5 tons. Number of blocks, more than 2 million. Estimated number of workers, 100,000. Ancient Egyptians had no pulleys, wheeled carts, or iron tools. Workers cut the blocks using stone and copper tools. But how did they move and lift such massive stones? No one really knows, but we can guess that the blocks were most likely placed on sleds and pulled with ropes by teams of men. Workers must have used ramps to position the blocks, level by level, as they built up the pyramid. But modern experts, who still marvel at the engineering problems that the planners solved, remain unsure of exactly how the ramps were used. The Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is located in Agra in northern India. It has been called the most expensive tomb in the world and the most beautiful. Shah Jahan ruled the Mughal Empire in India from 1628 to 1658. Shah Jahan's favorite wife, Mumtaz Mahal, died in 1631 after giving birth to their 14th child. Her grief-stricken husband hired the best architects and artisans in the empire to create her tomb. He spared no expense. It took about 15 years and 20,000 workers to complete the Taj Mahal. The Mughal rulers were Muslim, and they brought Islamic cultural influences to India. The period of Mughal rule during the 1500s and 1600s is known for its glorious art and architecture. All parts of the Taj Mahal are in perfect balance, which is one reason the structure is so striking and pleasing. This type of balance is known as symmetry. Twin sandstone buildings, a mosque and a guest house, stand on either side of the tomb. 4 towers, or minarets, surround the tomb. The tomb is covered in white marble inlaid with gems. Decorative floral patterns, ornate carvings, and calligraphy reveal the superb skills of artisans of the time. The Taj Mahal is much more than a tomb. Shah Jahan wanted his beloved's resting place to be an earthly replica of the gateway and gardens of paradise. The Great Gate prepares visitors for the grand view of water and tomb. The site covers 42 acres with buildings, gates, pools, water channels, and gardens. As Shah Jahan's historian noted 400 years ago, it will be a masterpiece for ages to come, increasing the amazement of all humanity. Both the Great Pyramid and the Taj Mahal are important parts of world history. UNESCO is the United Nations organization that works to preserve and protect the cultural and natural heritage around the world, considered to be of outstanding value to humanity. It's no surprise that 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites are the Great Pyramid and the Taj Mahal.
Which would you rather visit? The Great Pyramid in Egypt or the Taj Mahal in India? Check your understanding of the key ideas and details. To understand key details, you may need to figure out new vocabulary. You can often use other words in a sentence to find the meaning of a word. Understanding the meaning of the word monumental is important because it emphasizes the huge effort that went into building the Great Pyramid. Think about how the heading and other important text features can help you identify the most important ideas in the text. This article also has Level 1 and Level 2 subheadings, in addition to the main heading. In this overview, Level 1 subheadings are highlighted in yellow, and Level 2 subheadings are in green. This shows how the text is organized. Think about the Level 1 and Level 2 subheadings. Level 1 is highlighted in yellow, and Level 2 is highlighted in green. This graphic organizer can be used to help you understand and remember important information. A bulleted list is a text feature that can help you focus on important information. Words in italics are another text feature that can help you identify important information. Reread the sentence that follows the word afterlife, which is in italics. Images, diagrams, and captions are additional text features that can help you identify important information. Think about what is emphasized by showing the Taj Mahal from a distance. You've identified the subject and the supporting ideas. You can use this information to find the main idea. The main idea has been added to the graphic organizer. Now you can find key details that tell you about the supporting ideas. Sort each detail from the article into the correct category. Adding the details to a graphic organizer can help you remember what is important in a text. Nice work! You've successfully completed this lesson.
To be unique means to be unlike anything else. To walk to the beat of your own drum. To see something in a different light. Success through the experience of failure. Life with the possibility of hope. A neighborhood through the eyes of monsters. And strength through oppression. Go ahead, be unique.